In this video, major banks are closing both personal and business lines of credit, and here's what you need to do, not according to me, according to some of the most wealthiest people on the planet, so you can weather this liquidation squeeze. Let's get to it. As you may very well know, earlier this month, Wells Fargo announced that it would be shuttering all personal lines of credit. These are accounts where customers would be able to draw anywhere from $3,000 to $100,000 as needed. Last year, the financial institution announced that it would be halting all new home equity lines of credit and that it had exited some of its auto lending business. Wells Fargo also shuttered one of my lines of credit, a business lines of credit, because I did not pay attention to it. I did not use it. This was last year. Bank of America closed two of my business accounts also because I did not pay much mind to them. And TD Ameritrade also closed one of my credit cards. Again, because I did not use the card. I still have to pay it back nonetheless. The account that I have, I got like a few $100 left, but I'll go ahead and pay that back this month. However, first thing, you have to stay on top of all credit lines that you have. A number of you may have a number of credit lines open and it's hard to stay on top of them. For instance, like TD, that was a perfect example. I did not use the credit card, I used my other cards, and therefore for not using it, they basically categorized it as an inactive account and then they just closed it. So I don't have access to that credit line, although I've got to pay it back. So other people are reporting that other banks, other than Wells Fargo, are also closing these credit lines. What's happening is these financial institutions are scared that due to this downturn, this economic downturn that we've been enduring since last year, since the start of the pandemic, banks have noticed that a number of businesses, myself included, they drew down their accounts prior to the pandemic because no one knew what was going to happen. Everyone just started, any open lines of credit, they just drew down the entire balance. So like, let me get as much cash as possible. That's what happened. So now, I guess they're getting fearful that people are going to start doing the same thing, start drawing it down, especially as stimulus starts ending and a number of people are living off of these credit lines. So they're stopping these lines. So here is what you need to do. Again, not according to me, but let's go ahead and take a look at what Warren Buffett says, just in regards to what inflation, because as you very well know, the government's been pumping all this money to distribute checks through the Paycheck Protection Program and all forms of stimulus and checks, etc. So as this happens, there's more money going around. So the value of your dollar, it actually drops because the more there is of something, the less it is worth. And thus you see prices of everything from food to products that you're buying on Amazon to products you're buying anywhere, they're skyrocketing. So this is what Mr. Warren Buffett says, probably one of the best investors on the planet, right? If you're the best teacher, if you're the best surgeon, if you're the best lawyer, you will get your share of the national economic pie regardless of the value of whatever the currency may be. So according to 78-year-old investor, top investor, global world-class investor, you have to be the best at whatever it is that you do. Now, you can be technically best at, again, being a lawyer, a teacher, but a number of you don't have that opportunity at this particular moment in time. I did not have the opportunity to. I had the opportunity. I didn't take it because, these are just excuses because if I wanted to make it happen, if I wanted to be a doctor, if I wanted to be a lawyer, I could have definitely done it. But at that particular point in time, it didn't occur to me what was the idea that I had to, because I had to fend for myself. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, no trust fund. I had to work while I went to school. So it was a bit tougher because you had to get up 6 o'clock in the morning, go to work until 4 o'clock, 4:30, get off early and then hit the books. I used to attend the Borough of Manhattan Community College from 5 to like 10 in the evening, do my homework on the subway ride, coming back home, going back to Queens, right? So it was a bit tougher for me. So I went and became an entrepreneur. I started selling mixtape CDs in Times Square, took it all the way to Ohio, took it to Philadelphia, took it out to California. Then I started doing credit repair. Then I came back to the East Coast. I learned computers. Then I started doing affiliate marketing online, and that knowledge allowed me to develop my practice through which I provide internet marketing, digital public relations services. And that's what's actually brought me here today, because through that, I've been able to develop a business through which I can delegate work which is something I'm about to tell you shortly, because this is probably the most important time for you to do what I've been telling you to do. Ever since most of you started watching this channel, start selling something. In other words, establish the organized practice of running a small business, which is not rocket science. It's not developing the elevator from here to the moon. It's simply you selling something or a service, taking used products that you have in your home, putting them up for sale on eBay, on Mercari. Now, you want to take it to the next level, because that's something you want to do regardless of whatever business you want to put together. Because if your business is enduring a downturn, you typically want to liquidate everything you have anyway. That's why you see all of these blowout sales. We're going out of business and they're selling things for 25 cents on the dollar or 10 cents on the dollar, right? For instance, when I told you I met Tracy Morgan out in Toys R Us, there was a liquidation sale. They had G.I. Joes that typically cost $10 for like $2, $3. Why? Because they want to get rid of everything as quickly as possible. Something doesn't sell quick, you go ahead and drop the price, people buy it. So that's what you need to do. You liquidate everything, put some money in your pocket, and then hit the spreadsheet where I list a comprehensive variety of all kinds of business resources, education resources, information resources, and application portals to grants for everyone. Take a look at the free education tab, which is probably one of the most valuable tabs on the spreadsheet, and take a look at what you can learn over here. Again, if you don't have an idea for a business, even if you do operate a small business, you need to learn this stuff, because marketing, sales is the lifeblood of all businesses. And look, right here, I have listed, they're not even playing the bench, all these resources through which you can learn. Search engine optimization. This is how I made my bones right here. This is how you configure a website so it can welcome natural search traffic. Now, why do you want to do this? Again, so you could generate sales of anything. So for instance, if you're selling gaming tables, right? Whenever someone performs the query for gaming tables in Arkansas or in Houston, Texas, or wherever, right? You configure your website so it stands the best chance to appear for these queries on the Google natural search engine results. Now, as you start to develop more content, just the same thing that I do on this channel, develop content, and some of the keywords that you type in, they appear in my title, in the metadata, in the description of this video. And right here, Google teaches you how to do it for free. And this is not the only source of information, because, I mean, they can't list everything that you can do in order to optimize a website to have it appear for queries of targeted keywords. Take a look. The big SEO Reddit community, they post all kinds of case studies on how people are ranking their website. You don't have to pay for any of this stuff. This is all free education that's out there. And look, and I linked it right here on the spreadsheet that you could find at bit.ly/bizss21. Just look, just start. This is for entrepreneurs right here. People list all kinds of case studies where they've been successful in developing and starting their businesses, all right? Selling something. And the thing is, the more knowledgeable you get with this stuff, you start talking to people, and there are people that actually need these services. They know a little bit about it, but they don't know enough. But if you study this material, as long as you know more than the average bear, than the average entrepreneur, which is very simple to do. I'm telling you, after me posting advertisements through the Google advertising platform for roughly 3 to 4 months, I knew more than a number of C-level executives, of people that actually had the authority to hire people to go ahead and boost their sales. That's how I got to work with the Learning Annex, with the Trump Organization, with the 2012 Barack Obama presidential campaign, with Forbes, a number of mainstream and iconic online publications, by simply starting to learn this stuff, putting it into practice. Now, you want to get more cost effective? You want to have ads that are cheaper? Go ahead, look, take a look at this Facebook certification course. I list it right here on line 8, row 8. Take a look. See, it's all right here. Entrepreneur is another platform on Reddit. All this free information on how people are actually being successful in starting their small businesses, selling stuff. Now, and again, and I've got more resources for you as long as you start your small business, right? Again, I'm always talking about the grants that are available, right? I found this gem for you. Look, Candid Learning, Introduction to Proposal Writing. A number of you write in the comment section, can you do any type of grant writing for me? Or I don't have the time to go ahead and do it. This is a 1-hour free class that teaches you how to do it. And of course, there's more information. If you just perform a couple of simple Google search queries, and you'll be able to find this content. Now, this is for free. Look, and they have all kinds of educational information right here on how you can find funding on this Candid Learning website. And I've listed it right here on the free education tab. So you read it right here. Take a look at this right here. See, just to get a little more general, this is what Warren Buffett states. If you want to protect yourself against inflation, all right, because this is a byproduct of what's happened with the economic downturn, with the pandemic, inflation, as things start to increase. That's why these banks are closing these credit lines, because people, they're getting short on cash and they're like, you know what? You're not going to be tapping us out for funds and not paying us back. No, that's not happening. I mean, people that get on their last leg, there's still a number of people. You write me all the time, unemployed, you haven't got, and listen, you need to be starting a small business unless you're making millions of dollars. You can make millions of dollars with a small business, unless you're making millions of dollars as a chief executive officer or a C-level executive somewhere. You need to do it. You do it. Even if you're making 6 figures already, just start a small business on the side while you're keeping your hustle. That's okay. Look what he says right here. Economists and finance, look, highest rate, consumer prices are rising at their highest rate in more than a decade. Now, the beauty of you becoming the best at selling something is that if you sell something and prices are higher, then you could just increase the price of whatever product or service it is that you are developing. It's very simple. Then you start to take the funds that you start to generate and start to deposit into a business account. Wells Fargo, I know Wells Fargo is kind of like the bad guy, the antagonist of this video, because they're closing credit lines. Nonetheless, they got a business account. I've got it, where you only have to keep a $500 balance. That's it. So they won't charge you a monthly fee. That's a business account. You start depositing any sales you start generating into that business account. Then, now you can qualify for business funding, because that's the first thing you need to look. Let me take a look at your business statements, your business bank account statements, and you start showing them your deposits, so you verify that you are indeed a small business. And again, this is not stopping here. Disasters are coming, more pandemics are coming. You can bet your bottom dollar, understand, that is coming. So like I said, I've gotten grants when I've gone through when I weathered Hurricane Sandy out in New York, coming from FEMA. Now, I got grants through the economic injury disaster loan. However, I didn't make my bones through grants. I made it through selling something. Now, let's say you don't want to get technically proficient at doing this stuff. You just get an overview of this stuff. You read a couple of this stuff. You get an understanding of what entails becoming a search engine optimization marketer just by, reading through this material lightly. You can go ahead and take a look at a website called Upwork. So let's say you want to do Facebook marketing, Facebook advertising. I'm going to give you the drop on how you can start your agency. You find someone that can use it. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs Facebook advertising. All businesses. Start to speak to these people. Listen, one of my longest standing clients, I've been working with this gentleman, with this organization since 2012, to be exact. Yeah, 2012. Nonstop. I actually worked with them the year prior. So what, 8-9 years already? It's about to be 9 years because I worked with them the year prior as well. And then Sandy came, I started working with them right after Hurricane Sandy. I met the family that actually owned this mom and pop shop by taking my son to his preschool. My son was friends with their preschooler. I met them. I just told them what I do. That's basically the secret to my sales success. I go to places where I find people that need my services, and I just tell them what I do. That's it. I tell them exactly. I'm transparent. I'm virtually streaking in Speedos, basically, right? With everything that it is that I do. Same thing that I do here. I'm telling you everything. Everything. It is simple as that. There's no secrets behind this stuff. It's all right here. Look, I hire people from this platform. Now, I make money when I invest. That's the main creed that I keep, when I invest. So I sell the product. I tell them everything that I can do for a client. I tell them, listen, I can go ahead and get you on the top results for the search engine, the top results for Google whenever someone is performing a query for your services, for the generic terms that describe your services, that classify your services. And I'll go ahead and advertise on Facebook on your behalf. I go ahead and target the right people. I go ahead and install Facebook pixels on your website. So Facebook has an understanding of what is the demographic profile of the people that are visiting your website. So then you could take that audience. They already know everybody's on Facebook. They take all the demographic and the psychographic profiles of the people that visit my website. Then I can advertise to people that are just like that. So if I get 500 people, if 500 people visited my website, they can go ahead and take that and amplify. And they can get 2,000 or 10,000 more people that are just like those people that visited your website and advertise your services to them. And you can learn how to do that right here. Or again, you could just hire someone to do it. So if you're charging $1,000, just make sure you're not paying any more than $200, $300, $400 to have someone advertise on your behalf. And you could test it out on your own services, see if they work out for a few $100. Listen, they put these $49 an hour, $85, $40 an hour. You could tell them, I'm looking for a fixed price service. You can hire people overseas. Look at globalization. That's why all these major companies do it. They hire people overseas where you can hire people at a fraction of what you can hire them here. Okay? And you test them out. You test them to see if they work. Sometimes it doesn't work. You deal with them. You have to talk it out. Or hit this platform right here, Fiverr. Again, look, I went ahead and performed the query for Facebook advertising. I will do Facebook advertising, marketing, starting at $60, $45. Now, I don't know all the logistics of something like this at $65, but look, they start everything off, $45 to set up one ad on Facebook, 2 ad sets, pinpoint. They got a premium package for $230, set up 4 campaigns, 8 ad sets, pinpoint targeting, retargeting, 7 days delivery. Something like this, you will definitely find people that you could potentially sell this to for thousands of dollars for a fact. You being the middle person, because most entrepreneurs, most people, period, they don't want to go through the hassle of going through Fiverr and looking for people that can perform these digital services for them. So you simply do that with a couple of clicks of the mouse, with a couple of open lines of communication with people that could technically perform these services successfully, so they can go ahead and generate a positive return on investment for whatever money that they are investing in you. Then trust me, you will weather whatever downturn that you encounter.